feel like praising it. I've already been to the water, and I've already been baptized, and I've already been converted, and I feel all right ever since I've given up sin. Hallelujah, I've been born again. Y'all ready? Come on, let's go. For 5 years, you got me where you want me. I ain't nothing but your baby. You treated me mean. Oh, treated me good. If I were you, I would say yeah. Speak to me. I might be weak now, oh, but I'll give you strength. I'm gonna take all I can take.
God is the supplier of all of our needs. And as we celebrate tonight what it is that God does as Jehovah Jireh, who is our provider, there are two things that you need to know orally that God lets you know that you can live without. The first one that you can live without is your tonsils. You can live without your tonsils because as your vocal cords begin to expand, that's when you begin to feel a strain within your throat. And you must understand this, that whenever it is that you move to a new level in praise, that's when the devil will try to strangle the praise out of you. That's why when you're going through something, the enemy will tell you stay at home. The enemy will tell you it don't take all of that. I wish you would be quiet. I wish you would sit down. But you'll know this, that the people who don't want you to shout are the folk who don't need anything. But the folk who are desperate for God to do something awesome. They didn't come to church tonight to be on a video. They didn't come to be on the record. But they said, I was glad when they said unto me, let us go into the house of the Lord. And I think I got about 300 folks who just need God to do something. Oh, I'm talking about you need God to do something. The second thing that you can live without is your wisdom teeth. You can live without your wisdom teeth because wisdom teeth always show up late. And when they show up late, it disorganizes the entire dental structure because they try to move people and things out of the way that have already been established. You got to be careful for folk who show up in your life late, who weren't there when you were struggling, who weren't there when you didn't know how to make it, who weren't there when you were trying to push and press your way. But God said, I planted you like a tree by the river. He says, when it is that you've lost your tonsils, when it is that you've lost your wisdom teeth, you're left with one thing. And the thing that you will not lose is your voice.
Can't help but notice all this, and I can't be here for all this unknown. I'd rather just be left alone. Can't help but notice all this, and I can't be here for all this unknown. I'd rather just be left alone.
Pretty simple. I'd rather be alone than be surrounded with people that don't appreciate me, don't value me, and don't understand what I bring to the table.
The last time I traded my happiness for love, it almost destroyed me. I'd rather be alone than miserable with someone that's not right for me. I learned that the hard way.
Can't help but notice all this, and I can't be here for all this unknown. I'd rather just be left alone. Can't help but notice all this, and I can't be here for all this unknown. I'd rather just be left alone.
To all of you fighting battles alone, to all of you going against the grain, battling the naysayers, stay strong, keep going, stay strong, keep going.
Have you ever been so lonely and alone that you wondered why God wants you to be alone? It may be so frustrating not knowing and rather more confronting to know that He Himself put you in this state and He knows just how you feel. But He has put you exactly where you need to be at this time in your life.
Can't help but notice all this, and I can't be here for all this unknown. I'd rather just be left alone. Can't help but notice all this, and I can't be here for all this unknown. I'd rather just be left alone.
Friends and family may have left you. Even the ones you never thought would turn their backs on you were the first set to back out. It probably all happened so fast and it left a big space in you. But cheer up, because God created this void in your heart that's only His.
Can't help but notice all this, and I can't be here for all this unknown. I'd rather just be left alone. Can't help but notice all this, and I can't be here for all this unknown. I'd rather just be left alone.
Maybe all these people came into your life just to pull you away from Him, and they've kept you in the dark all these years. So when life becomes meaningless, boring and hard, it's because we've been filling it up with anything but Him. And that void has to be occupied by Him and Him alone. In the silence of the heart, God speaks.
Can't help but notice all this, and I can't be here for all this unknown. I'd rather just be left alone. Can't help but notice all this, and I can't be here for all this unknown. I'd rather just be left alone.
If you have God in your prayer and silence, God will still speak to you. And then you will know that you are nothing. Because it's only when you realize your loneliness and nothingness and your emptiness that God can fill you with Himself. So let Him. No person, no possession, no profession or position can ever fill the cup of an empty heart. It's an emptiness that only God can fill. And sometimes God brings you to those places where it feels like you're alone, because He just simply wants to call you out.
Can't help but notice all this, and I can't be here for all this unknown. I'd rather just be left alone. Can't help but notice all this, and I can't be here for all this unknown. I'd rather just be left alone.
I want you to know that you're not forgotten. I want you to know that you're not alone. I want you to know that He hears you. At some point in our lives, we all have experienced the feeling of being alone.
I've been on my own for a long time. Thinking about the way that you don't mind. I've been on my own for a long time.
Sometimes you're not hitting your goals because you are carrying the weight of those around you. And some people are just not ready to go where you are going, and you've got to recognize that. Do not yield to distractions. Focus on you. So many people dream big dreams, but they never take any action. If you don't believe in yourself, you've already lost the battle. Not believing in yourself is a losing battle because either you won't try at all or you will convince yourself that you can't do it. And when you convince yourself that you can't do it, your results are going to confirm what you believe. And when your results confirm what you predicted, then you're gonna say, see, this is who I am.
Thinking about the way that you don't mind. I've been on my own for a long time.
Why should I even try? That is where you begin to fall short of your goals. You fall short of your goals when you predict that you're not going to hit them. And sometimes you're too focused on probability. You're asking yourself, well, what's the likelihood of this happening? Versus focusing on the possibility. Asking yourself, how would my life change if I accomplished this? Ask yourself that question. And don't wait on approval from anyone outside of you. And don't feel bad because you feel like no one is cheering for you. No, you've got to decide that you are your biggest fan. You've got to decide that you're gonna finish what you started if you don't have one person supporting you.
I've been on my own for a long time. Thinking about the way that you don't mind. I've been on my own for a long time.
You're seeing this because something inside you is waking up, even if you don't fully understand it yet. Not because life suddenly became easy, not because everything is fixed, but because you reached a point where staying the same hurts more than changing. There's a moment in every person's life when the pressure becomes so heavy that it either crushes them or forges them. And if you're here right now listening to these words, it means you weren't meant to be crushed. You were meant to be rebuilt, stronger, sharper, more aware than ever before. What you've been through wasn't random. The nights you questioned yourself, the days you felt invisible, the moments you wondered why things kept falling apart just when you tried to hold them together, all of that was preparation. You didn't know it then, but you were being trained inside. People see the comeback and think it happened overnight. They clap for the victory, but never sat with you in the pain. They admire the confidence, but never witnessed the doubt. They see the calm now, but they never heard the war that was raging in your mind. That's how it always is. The strongest transformations happen where nobody is watching. While the world was busy overlooking you, you were learning. While they underestimated you, you were building something inside that can't be taken away. And the truth is, not everyone is meant to understand your journey. Some people only show up to witness the results, not the process. There's a reason your past had to fall apart. There's a reason certain people walked away, certain doors closed, certain plans failed. You thought it was rejection, but it was redirection. You thought it was loss, but it was release. what felt like punishment was actually protection. Because had those things stayed, they would have kept you small. They would have kept you comfortable in a life that didn't match your potential. Sometimes life has to break the illusion before it can reveal the truth. Sometimes you have to be emptied before you can be filled with something greater. You don't come back stronger by accident. You come back stronger because you've been humbled, because you've been stripped of ego, because you've been forced to look at yourself without excuses. Pain has a way of introducing you to who you really are when all the masks fall off. And when you survive that, when you stand back up after being knocked down in ways nobody saw, something changes. You stop chasing approval. You stop begging for validation. You stop explaining yourself to people who were never listening in the first place. You realize your worth isn't something you argue for. It's something you live. There was a version of you that tried to be everything for everyone. That version learned the hard way that loyalty to the wrong people is betrayal to yourself. There was a version of you that stayed quiet too long, tolerated too much, hoped things would change if you just loved harder or tried more. That version paid the price. But that version also laid the foundation for who you're becoming now. You don't forget those lessons. You carry them forward. Not with bitterness, but with wisdom. Not with anger, but with boundaries. Your comeback isn't about revenge. It's not about proving people wrong. It's about proving yourself right.